Knit365 meets fibre chats in real life. I can't, honestly, it is crazy.
I know. I woke up today at 5 to catch an Uber to fly to Orlando to see you. I was like, I couldn't miss the opportunity. You're not often in our neck of the woods. So.
No, and I think it's been 20 years since I've been in this neck of the woods, and it's Mark's first time completely. So yes, a great occasion for you to come over.
I know. I'm so excited.
How long was the flight?
It wasn't bad. It was like 2.5 hours.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
How
And
was
it was
customs?
all was on time. All was easy. So.
You just fly to the airport though as well.
Yeah.
Our customs journey was amazing because you hear the horror stories about the queues to come through immigration and everything.
Right. Well, I didn't have to do that because I'm in the States.
Yeah, of course, but when we landed, we were off the plane and getting luggage from the belt within 58 minutes. I timed it.
That's not bad.
No, when my brother and sister-in-law came a few years ago, it took them like 3.5 hours.
Oh well.
Mental. I was completely bracing for.
No, I think since like the age of technology, they're now making it easier with all the machines there to check the passport and everything, so it's pretty smooth.
But it was good, and I've had such a great week. Great week? Great 3 weeks.
Great 3 weeks in Orlando and the 90 degrees heat and 100% humidity.
I have a bit of a tan. I've got a white strap on mine.
You did get some color.
Yes, I've got some colour, and I said I was worried about the heat. I remember I said to you earlier that people were telling me, why are you coming in July? The heat is going to be terrible. And actually...
Well, it's probably better than being in the rain
totally.
in England.
Yeah, although when we landed, they had a heat wave back home. So we were saying, it's 33 degrees. And they're like, it's 30 here. It's not that much hotter.
Right. Wait, where is your hat?
I have my hat that I had to buy because obviously bald head. I've genuinely not been wearing a hat though. I've been putting sun cream on as we get out of the car. I've been putting sun cream on, and then topping up a little bit. And I've really tried not to wear a hat.
It's very cute though.
Thank you. And it's obviously got a mouse on it. Although in day one of Disney, they gave me a badge that said it's my first time, and then one of the days we had a really bad storm and we had really bad rain, thunder, lightning, and the badge ran.
I wonder if you go to Disney store and tell them that story, they'll give you a new hat.
Like, can I have a new hat, please?
They might.
Because I bought the hat in Disney Springs, so that was...
We'll ask them tomorrow. We're going to Disney Springs tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going
together.
to Disney Springs tomorrow. But yeah, they gave me the badge when I bought the hat. And I do like it. It was a subtle Mickey.
Yeah.
Although now I've gone full, I've got a Mickey Stanley and I've gone...
Did you get the ears?
No, I didn't get the ears. Because I thought I wouldn't wear them. I contemplated Winnie the Pooh ears. That's definitely been a highlight of the trip, meeting Winnie the Pooh twice.
Well, you know what, we're going to take pictures tomorrow with the ears and just see if you need to take one home.
Yeah. It looks so good.
Well, do you want to share your gifts?
Yes, so Irina bought me, which was very nice of you. You didn't need to buy me anything.
No,
but Irina came with gifts. So do you want to tell, I'll do show and tell. Do you want to share with people the stories behind the gifts?
So the bag, I don't remember who it's by. It's a beautiful sister, Heather. They make these bags, and the cool thing about it, you can tie it inside and it makes this neat pouch. And you can also put it on your hand and you can knit with it.
Yeah, this would be me walking around.
Right.
I've been walking around Disney with a little bum bag or a fanny pack, as you call them.
Yeah. So this is like more stylish.
Super cute.
And then this yarn is from a Massachusetts farm. It's 100% merino yarn. So I figure I'll bring you some local treats.
It is so soft.
Yeah, for those of your viewers who don't know much about me, I live actually in Massachusetts. So
yes,
that's
we should probably introduce you. So Irina from Fibre Chat. We should assume everybody knows you now because of the Mission Knit. So this is Irina from Fibre Chat's podcast. If you don't know Irina, we'll put all the details and everything below. But you live in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I do live in Massachusetts. So we've met online 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I asked you to be on my channel. So on my channel, I do interviews of all kinds of fiber artists, industry professionals, not just knitters, but there's like a lot of sprinkling of everything. So I asked you, and we became instantly friends.
Yeah.
And then we've been doing for the past 4 years, 3 years, 4 years.
Was it 4 years and we've done 3 MCALs, or 3 years and we've done 2 MCALs?
No, we've definitely done 3 MCALs.
We've done 3 MCAL, and you beat me in everyone. We won't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
This is the year. We'll talk about this time. This is the year.
Your year.
This is my year.
For sure. For sure.
Irina has planned. Basically, I'm going to win because she's going to be handicapped.
So we've been doing what we call Humans of West Knits, where we get together with people who participate in the MCAL, and we share our progress, our frustrations, our mistakes, our everything, the journey through the MCAL.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun because we sort of created this community, and there are some people that we know for years already.
Yeah.
I actually met Isabel for the first time in real life in Barcelona. She came to see me. She drove actually for like 9 hours to come to see me. Yeah, so it's I'm looking forward to that, but this year is gonna be, you're definitely at advantage.
Let's chop and change. Tell folks what you're doing during the Mystery Knit Along. So October is the West Knit. So Stephen West does the Mystery Knit Along every year. So October is when we will be casting on and when we'll be doing the pattern.
So basically it's been evolving over the years. The first year you were doing Vlogtober, and we were going live on your channel a few times, and Stephen was with us, and Linda. And for the past 2 years, we did it more like as a Zoom community Zoom sessions. So
it's like a virtual knit night.
Right, but twice a week.
Twice a week, yeah.
Where we check our progress and like report on what we're struggling with. And some of those years were adventurous, to say the least.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and so it's becoming like we get to know each other, we see different colors, we get different ideas. Some people use some clever techniques that we haven't thought about.
Yeah.
So it's really fun.
I learned so much from other people
Yeah.
because I'm a bit of a plodder. I know my speed and I try and go quickly and try and keep up, but actually there is a benefit of having a few people a couple of clues ahead. So like, right, when you get to that bit of the pattern, don't do that, do this, because I found that as a great tip. So I really like that community vibe. It is like a virtual knit night, because that's
and
the thing.
some people give you like ideas, like, oh, I did that, and like, oh, I never thought of that, like, why wouldn't, you know. So,
or colour combinations, like I put an accent in there and you're like, oh, that's a great idea to switch the colour. Yeah, absolutely. It's the inspiration.
And we discovered your weakness for purling.
My pearl tension is very different to my knit tension, as we learned in Twists and Turns, I think it was, and I had an epic fail. And if you want to watch, there's a playlist below for all the mystery knit alongs. Go back and watch one of the episodes, and it'll probably be in the video title, where I couldn't, my pearl tension, it was like my knit section was like this big and my pearl section was like this big.
Well, you know, in the Master Hand Knitter program, they have a special swatch just for that, to teach you the proper tension.
But I learned it because someone then said, again, that community vibe, someone then said, your tension is too loose when you're purling, put a wrap around your finger and it'll tighten your tension. And I actually might be interested to redo the swatch, redo that section to see, because now I just put a little wrap around so I hold my yarn over my middle finger. I don't convention. It works for me. It's kind of how I found my way teaching myself on YouTube. But now by popping that extra wrap around, it's definitely tightened up. Yeah. So I would be intrigued actually to try and do it. But again, that community vibe, you're not on your own with these things.
Yeah. They definitely sharing their own techniques, and some might not work for you, but some might be like, oh, like the light bulb, you know, like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Yeah.
And in previous years then, so this always coincides with Rhinebeck, so the big yarn festival here in America. So Irina always is at Rhinebeck, and then I kind of get a weekend ahead, because I've got a bit of time while Irina's traveling, but you're traveling somewhere else this year. Yeah,
I'm also going to Sardinia for a week. And I'm going to be celebrating my birthday this year in Sardinia, so I'm super excited. I don't know how much knitting is gonna happen there, and I might have to do Zoom from Sardinia. So last year actually.
How trying that's going to be, having to Zoom from Sardinia.
Last year, right after Rhinebeck, I flew to North Carolina to visit my daughter who is in college there, and then from there we flew to Miami to visit my parents. So I had one Zoom from North Carolina and one Zoom from Miami. Yeah. And this year it's gonna be Sardinia.
But you're gonna have the long haul flight.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be what? It's 9 hours to the UK. So what's your flight? That's gonna be 11, 12
I don't know.
hours.
There's the problem is there is no direct flight to Sardinia, so I'm flying 2 different airlines to get there and 3 different airlines to go back. So.
But that's a lot of plane knitting.
That's true.
So you might actually you'll take off and you'll go, I'm just starting this clue, and then you'll land and like ta-da!
Well, we'll see, won't we?
So maybe
anyway,
actually,
back to the
I was going to say, but maybe I'm not as handicapped now as I thought I was going to be. Oh, you're not going to be as handicapped because you're going to have all the plane in. Anyway, that was a tangent from you live in Massachusetts. Right, so Greenwood Hill Farm, let's go back to the yarn.
And it's 100% merino.
It is so honestly, it could be a pillow. It's really lovely. So that's your local...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like a local farm and they spin their own yarn. And then this is, so one of my favorite indie dyers in the US is Woolen Women Fiber. It's 2 twin sisters and a mom. So one of the sisters is a yarn dyer. The other sister, Sam, she's actually lives in Orlando and I'm meeting her tomorrow for the first time in real life as well. She's doing markers from polymer clay, and mom makes bags. So all 3 of them work together and they create all these beautiful yarns. And this year I'm working on a super fun project with them. I'm designing a shawl for the Advent calendar, and you guys can actually get that Advent. There are still some available. And we'll talk about the show later. We'll keep on the basket.
But that colour, that's really lovely.
Well, I figured that you like knitting socks. I was like, I wanted to share my favorite dyers with you. So.
Socks is definitely going to be on the occasion for those. That's lovely. Thank you.
And then Ross from Twisted Ambition.
We love Ross from Twisted Ambition.
Ross. So Ross was also, they all were, Andrea was on my channel, you obviously were on my channel.
Yeah.
If you don't know much about Martin, you can go to my channel and get to learn everything you need to know about him in his interview. But Ross was also a guest of my channel and he's a brilliant yarn dyer.
I used Ross's yarn in last year's Mystery Sock Along, I think it was.
Yeah, last year he was one of the
He was one of the featured dyers.
Yeah, featured dyers at Stephen and Penelope.
That launch.
He has beautiful, very deep, very sophisticated colors to his yarn. I really like.
I've not coaxed you into the Mystery Sock Along, have I yet?
Not yet. Work on it.
It launches on Tuesday.
Oh, I'm free on Tuesday.
There we go. Have you ever knit a pair of socks? We briefly touched on...
Yeah, I've done 2. The second sock was more of a struggle than the first sock. But I've done 2, so I understand the concept of socks. So the first pair I knitted, I was very proud of it. I gifted it to my daughter. She called me 15 minutes later and she said, I have a hole in my toe. And I don't know if it was she needed a nail clipping or it was my technique. I don't know. So people told me that toe up are stronger than when you're going
cuff
from
down.
your cuff down. So I don't know, maybe that was maybe it was my Kitchener stitch that needed some work on.
Maybe, because as long as it's got nylon in it,
right, it did.
Then it would be hard going for her to break down in 15 minutes.
The second pair I made, it was funny story actually. So Christopher, the Professor Pearl, he's specializing in, he does designing of socks. Yeah. So after our interview, I told him about my fiasco of socks and he goes, I caught you and I'm gonna send you the pattern. It didn't even come out yet. And then I started knitting it and I found a mistake in the pattern. Not because it was an obvious mistake, but because I didn't have any experience in knitting, I couldn't understand what I need to do, and there was one sentence missing basically from the pattern, so I actually helped him.
See? There we go.
I considered myself a tester for this. So like I keep that pair of socks very proudly at home, but that was the second and the last so far. So.
I just think they're perfect portable projects.
Okay.
Like I knit a sock on the way out on the plane, and I've done the second cuff, and I've now got to the heel flap. So that's my project for the plane home.
Right.
And then I would have done a pair of socks while I've been here.
Yeah. No, I mean it's really convenient on the go. So.
Oh, they're totally.
Yeah. And then there is. So I went to. Yeah. Of course. So I went to HH Americas, and they had this. Adi had these needles, and they basically like squiggly lines. And the claim was that it's perfect for socks, and the stitches don't fall off the needles. You know how like usually they slippery.
Yeah. They're almost like a cable needle.
Right. So they have this like little hump on the side, in the center. So this is like brand new.
Yeah, you said these aren't out yet.
Yeah. Well, they're
out now. I have a pair. Yeah, and usually when there's news like a sock, or there's new needle type, we can never get them in the UK. Like it takes forever for them. So.
Oh, you're gonna be the first.
I will do a review, and I will.
I've heard you're meeting with some guys once you're coming back, so you can show off your needles.
I'm going to London to knit with Kitey and a few other folks, so I will take them. But they're super cute. They are like cable needles, so yeah, you can see how they wouldn't.
Right, they hold the stitches.
Yeah, they hold the stitches.
Yeah, I'm actually like really curious to hear your feedback on these needles.
I'm gonna.
And then I think there's some markers in there that's not supposed to catch anything. I haven't tried those yet.
I'm gonna pop those there, and I'll put them back in the box afterwards. Twice sheared sheep snag free stitch markers. Oh, they're cute.
And Twice sheared sheep are known for all their accessories, so they create a lot of. They actually do advents as well.
Yeah.
And they create a lot of knitting accessories like row counters. They have like actually really cool gauge ruler.
Yeah.
That like it's a see-through, and you just put it on fabric, and it tells you what gauge.
Oh,
counting the
I've
stitches.
seen those on.
Yeah.
I've seen those online. Yeah.
Yeah, they have some very clever gadgets there. So if you guys want to check out Twice sheared sheep.
Yeah, I'll put all the details below, and I know I'm sitting here. I will have zoomed in and out, so hopefully you'll have seen everything. But if I'll have put pictures on screen and stuff, so you'll have seen all those close up as we're going. But thank you so much. That is a wonderful little haul.
Enjoy.
Thank you. But gauge swatch. So we're going to go on a tangent. So gauge swatch. You don't swatch, do you?
Well, if I must.
If you must.
I mean, I'll swatch occasionally if I'm test knitting.
Yeah.
For somebody that I feel like, and it's a sweater, then I'll swatch occasionally.
I'll swatch. It's even just saying the words "I'll swatch"
No,
if I have to.
I was interviewing Cecilia Campacharo, and she's obsessed with swatching. She has her whole entire room is covered with like pizza boxes where she keeps all her swatches.
Oh wow!
And all her books are created from those swatches. So she's like very organized. And I'm the exact opposite of that spectrum. So like if there is a way to avoid swatching, I'll try to find it.
I think I'm learning to love swatching a lot more. I haven't had that many disasters. I'm now swatching because I really messed up some projects. I'm swatching now because I think I'm trying to just learn to love it.
I'm learning to tolerate. Love is such a strong word for swatching.
But then, so let's talk about some of your designs. So you're now designing your own, but do you start with a swatch of the idea? Do you just pick the needle up? Talk us through one of your shawls that you're doing.
I actually created the sweater, and it's gonna be published in the next Liner magazine.
Which is so exciting.
I swatched it up when I wrote the pattern for it.
Oh, so you finished the sweater?
I finished, I blocked it, and then I measured this for the swatch.
Yeah.
But like, no. I mean, maybe one day. I'm still a hesitant designer. Like I still have hard time calling myself a designer. Right now I have 6 published designs, one that's coming out in Liner and one that I finished the pattern for Wool & Women fibre, but it's gonna be like September when it comes out.
Yeah.
So I'm like a very budding baby designer. And I liked the whole experience, because it gave me the appreciation for the real designers out there. It gave me like the insider view of like what's going on, how much work goes into the pattern.
Yeah.
You know, and we talked about it like over lunch a little bit, that it's like, if I could just sketch and swatch, you know, I could come up with endless ideas, but you need to knit it, and you probably need to knit it more than once. Most of my patterns, and you know me, I don't like knitting the same thing twice. I've been knitting the same thing multiple times because of that, you know, like this sweater I knitted three times actually. My first shawl I knitted like 5 or 6 times actually.
Wow.
And
but your shawls are really intricate lace though, so to
it's
knit.
It's not intricate, like the most intricate shawl is the one that's coming up, right? Everything else that's out there, it's really doable. There is very detailed instructions. It's charts and written instructions.
Yeah.
So it's actually perfect for like people who want to learn how to read charts, because they have this like safety bag of written instructions. So it's all very doable. Like the lace has this hard reputation, but the reality of it, it's all one stitch at a time. It just takes a little more attention paying, you know.
But that's so. Irina and I've been for lunch before we have sat down now, and actually that was something we were talking about. Talking about. I've only had 2 beers. How stitches are constructed and how you learn.
They're
so
not real stitches,
so like
understanding your reading.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit more confident with brioche now.
Right.
Because the bit that always scared me was if I made a mistake, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to undo it. Whereas some of the patterns I've been doing recently have had brioche. I've learned how to pick the crochet hook. Like you said, you learn where the yarn over, and that's what you were saying about lace is the same. Because I said, you can't just drop lace down in the same way. But that is actually what you do. You just need to know how to reconstruct it.
It's a skill that you accumulate this skill, right? Like if you think about, I always make this comparison with reading, because like when you first learn how to read, you see the letter and you learn to recognize the shape of the letter and the sound it makes. And then you start combining 2 letters together and you get the syllables. And now, because you are such a great reader, you see the word and your brain immediately recognizes the word. So when I look at the lace pattern, my brain recognizes the sequence. So I'm not looking at every stitch, I remember the sequence. So usually when I do lace, I mean, especially like with my my designs specifically, it's usually like shorter repeats.
Yeah.
And it's easy to train your brain to like recognize the sequence of stitches and memorize it. And if you do like more than one lace project, your brain will start recognizing that it's like.
And I guess that is a really good analogy about how you link it to reading, because if you think, when I've taught, I haven't taught a lot of people to knit, but when I've helped people either to actually get started, or like someone at work might know that I'm a knitter, and they'll can you help me with that? Trying to help someone how to read their stitches is almost the most important skill.
Right.
Because forget whether that's then brioche or lace, which is a complicated technique for the beginner, but it's just about reading the stitch then, the way you just articulate. That's the same for us as a beginner. You know that that's a knit stitch, you know if it's bumpy, it's a purl stitch.
Right.
So you kind of help that. So I've never thought about it.
And the reality of it, there's very few stitches out there, like plain stitches,
Yeah.
right? Like you have your knit two together, so you know it's gonna be leaning the right way. You have your slip knit, you know the stitch, if the stitch is leaning the left to the left, it's slip knit.
Yeah.
So it's easy to recognize, and they usually have yarn over right next to them, so you see the hole, you know it's yarn over. So it's, you get to the point when you read your knitting, you can read the pattern just by looking at it. And by training yourself to do that, it's also very easy to spot a mistake. Like you spot the mistake much faster than like 7 rows down, you know, you'll see it on your needles that something doesn't align.
Although I bet there will be some people, and I would be one of those, I would spot it 7 rows later and I'd look at it and go, oh.
Well, I just did this thing, and I did it for the first time ever in my life. I messed up the cable. So I'm working on this pattern by Claudia Quintania, and we'll talk about it a bit later, but it has these cables on the side, and one of the cables, the direction of the cable was the wrong way, and it was like 3 cables down,
Yeah.
3 loops down, right? And I was like, that's gonna bother me. And I was like, okay, I know how in theory to do it. Let's just do it. So
Yeah.
for the first time ever, I went down like 30 rows and I reconstructed the whole thing, and it was very satisfying experience.
There's definitely something enjoyable
Yeah,
about that, the moment when you put the last stitch back on the needle.
Right.
Because I said, when I've done it with some brioche recently, and now I'm getting better with the brioche at knowing where the increases and the decreases are. The bit that and I think it's just then, I probably get a bit overconfident and I just forget the yarn over or something.
Right.
And then it's in front of it rather than behind. And it's those types of ones that tends to be, touch wood, that tends to be the mistake I'm making. And then I'll note, and I have to fix it then, because you've got this really lovely looking panel of brioche with this one stitch just staring at it, and you're like, I've got to fix that. Because it's going to bother me.
But it's also like, if you know how to fix your mistakes, it's not that difficult, right?
Mm.
Like to go that, like, I mean, some mistakes are not worth fixing, and some mistakes, like I'm looking at them and I'm like, you know what? It's gonna be the beauty mark for this project.
Yeah.
Like,
if Mark won't see it, I'll get away with that. That's genuinely mine. Would Mark spot that if I was out with him? Would he spot it?
Right.
Because he's very direct
And
in a
then
lovely, supportive way. But I go, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've got to fix it then."
And then there are mistakes that can be turned into design feature, like this sweater.
Talk to us about sweater. It is so soft. What yarn? It's?
This is knitting foul with mohair, held double. So me being overconfident and thinking that I've done probably like 10 Claudia's patterns and I know how she thinks. This is Claudia Quintania from Knit Toronto.
We'll do close up so you can see the stitch texture. It is, and it is so super soft.
So what happened, when I printed the pattern, I sort of overlooked one sentence that said it's every chart is for different size. And so I found my size, but then I didn't realize that the sleeve had different amount of increases in the raglan than the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just did the same amount of increases, and that turned into a really wide opening for the sleeve. And I'm not yet sure what I'm gonna do with it. I just refuse to go back and redo the whole thing because I think it's like to frog it, it's also...
So how far back would you need?
Like
all the way back
here.
up to...
So I don't think that I'm gonna be doing that. So
No.
I decided, like I was looking through some fashion magazines, and right now the really wide sleeves,
Yeah.
shorter sleeves, but like really wide, like a tube, are very in, and I think that's what's gonna happen with this sweater. It's gonna be mostly Claudia Quintania with a little misfortunate.
It's such
addition.
a lovely pattern though.
I think it's gonna be beautiful one way or another.
But I guess you could also, is it meant to be long sleeves?
It's meant to be long sleeves, and it's all in this pattern. So it's
So even just putting extra
Right.
decreases in to
right.
decrease,
So you
couldn't.
can't really
No.
do extra decreases because it's gonna mess up with the pattern. So it is what it is.
It's such a lovely. So this pattern is in test at the moment. It's not
Yeah,
out
it's
yet.
gonna come out end of August.
I've never seen a
And it's called
raglan.
Divino, so it's gonna be divine one way or
Divino.
another.
I've never seen a pattern with cable raglans.
Yeah, Kevlar. Yeah, it's really cute. I love knitting it. It's like very relaxing. It's sort of like you have to remember where you are. So the chart is like important to have around.
And then you can wear that in the Boston climate because you couldn't wear that in the Florida climate.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I mean-
Judging how I've been for the last 3 weeks, you couldn't wear that. I'm like, get everything off me.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean Boston gets cooler,
Okay.
especially in the fall. Like I'm thinking maybe it's gonna be one of my Rhinebeck sweaters. We'll see.
It's such a lovely pattern.
What are you working on?
I didn't bring any of my knitting with me. My knitting is all in the villa. Where's my swatch gone? I haven't got my bag. The only thing I brought with me was my knitting in case we actually sat down and did knitting. I bought.
Yours hand spun.
I brought handspun with me. So actually this video might go out after my how much knitting did I get done in Florida. So far I've made one sock and I've done the cuff and the heel flap of the second sock. So by the time I get home, that will be finished because that's my plain project. So I've done a pair of socks, and then I've made a Toft pangolin.
Yeah, I saw that.
Jane the pangolin. So I made her. Hated every minute of it. Well, I loved. It was perfect Q knitting. So again, I had a little bum bag for the UK people, fanny pack for the Americans, with my ball of yarn, but the ball of yarn doesn't fit in the bum bag properly. So I was winding off a little ball, putting that in my brother's bag.
Oh, I just knew that you need that.
See, exactly. I needed my portable project bag. But it was the perfect Q knitting or Q crochet, because while I'm waiting an hour for a roller coaster,
right,
I can make a leg.
Yeah.
And as I will have said in the video, I've not had any issues getting into any of the Disney parks with knit a needle or crochet hook. And a few people commented on a video before I came about, can you do that? You've got to go through the X-ray scanners. There was one day at Hollywood Studios, they made me go and have bag search because I set the metal detector off. He saw my crochet hook, but I had my bit of crochet that already started, and he went, yeah, that's fine, and I went straight through. Right. But other days, it's not set it off at all. So I don't know whether it was just a random bag search that day.
Yeah.
But no one's taken any needles or hooks off me. So I've done the pair of socks, I've done the pangolin, and then though viewers of my channel for a while will know I'm doing my year-long fibre club. So this is, I get 100 grams of fibre from Gemma of the Little Grey Girl every month.
Can I ask you a stupid question?
Yeah?
Does 100 grams of fibre translate into 100 grams of yarn?
Nearly. There's a bit more, so because more for me because I'm a newbie, so there's a bit of wastage. So I tend to get 85-ish grams, but I think also it depends on how thin you spin it, because that's about 80 grams plied together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting 2 braids from Gem, and I get a solid braid and a variegated braid. If you spun them as singles, then you'd obviously get much more. But I'm kind of in a heavy DK Aran weight, and that's quite consistent.
So next year, please?
Oh, no, I've had a go at thinking like, because I'm me and I've got all the I can do this, that's not a problem. Like it's still, even with now like 6 weeks till MCAL launches for the shawl, I'm still convinced that I can spin fibre to make my own hands, but I know I can't do it. It's not going to happen. I haven't got
Martin, if you have a spin cobweb, I promise you I'll make you Shetland lace shawl out of your hand spun.
But so consistently I'm getting DK to Aran, and I did have a go on. I had a little bit of fibre left, and I was like, right, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to spin my own West Knit shawl, how thin do my singles need to be in order to get fingering weight? And it's spinning cobweb. It's so thin, but it's going thin again. As a newbie, you've got to be quite brave, because you realise you're spinning really, really thinly, but if you go any thinner, it's going to snap.
Right.
And it's trying to stay just that ever so slightly thicker side of letting it snap. But I did it, and I know I won't be able to do it for this year. My skills are not clever enough. I did suggest I could do it in singles,
Right.
because my singles are 4-ply. But then, and someone did comment on my video then to say, because I said about, oh, maybe I'll just do it as singles. And yeah, but singles is less hard wearing because they're singles.
Right.
But I'm sure that Stephen did a singles one year. One of his videos, the videos that he makes, I'm sure
it just like splits a little bit. It's harder to knit with.
Yeah, and they were like, because it's a shawl and it's on and off all the time, it's not going to be as hard wearing. So I don't think I'm going to do it for this year, but I'm spinning for, so I get my fibre every month, and then I'm going to make a blanket. So by the end of the year, I'll have a hand spun.
And you're going to design it, right?
Blanket. Well, so this one I'm just doing swatches. So I bought swatch cards. I don't think that was no. I'll put the details on screen. I think the lady's called Sarah Compton. It's like a little box of knitting cards. So the idea is that every month I'm making 3 swatches out of each colour. One plain, just vanilla knit and purl stocking stitch to show off the fibre, and then 2 textured. And then so Gemma does like a summer box. She did a Valentine's box. Did she do a Valentine's box? Oh no, she did an Easter box. So, but with the others, with the specials, I think I'll have about 40 squares by the end of the year, which is a decent sized blanket.
Right.
So I came out here 3 months behind. So I'd spun up 3 months of the fibre, but I hadn't knit any. So I've got this one now, which I've just started some cables on.
How big are the squares?
They are 30 stitches wide, so they're not, and they're just square then. But by the time I finish this one, I will then have done 9 of these while I've been out here as well. So that's not bad going. So I've done nine swatches. Some of them are more successful than others because I did a cable, but the yarn's really dark and variegated, so you can't really see the cable.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that because they're kind of in my head, they're swatches. So there's one I did a slip stitch on, and you can't really tell that it's a slip stitch design versus a stocking stitch design. But again, I'm okay. I'm just having fun playing and experimenting and seeing how they show. So that, in reality now, we're filming this on Saturday, so I go home on Monday. So I will probably finish my swatches, and then that's it. I don't think I'll get anything else done.
That sounds like a lot of knitting.
It's still
done on vacation.
Yeah, it's still quite a lot, and I've not found it too hot to knit, which is weird because back at home it is too hot to knit.
Right.
Whereas it's humid here. It's more humid here than it is in the UK.
But did you knit mostly outside here or like indoors?
I have knit outside. Like we were at the water park this morning, and I sat outside and I sat in the shade, and I had too much sun in the pool. I've kind of burnt a little bit on my neck. So I sat outside. I did have sun cream on, but I burnt. I could feel. I haven't burned. I could just feel it was getting a little bit tingly. So I sat in the shade and I started this swatch. But yes, we have aircon here as well, which is a big help. And there's aircon in the queues, or there's big fans in the queues and stuff. So actually. And it's still amazing, like the amount of people that kind of, you can see they're staring at you, like you're knitting in the queue, and then you can see just out of the corner of your eye, people are like, yeah, I'm knitting.
I had a stewardess today commenting on my meeting. She was like, oh my god, that looks so fluffy and so lush.
I had it with the steward on the way out, because he, when we boarded, because I'd started the cuff in the hotel the night before, and then he came over, he's like, oh, what are you making? So I said, oh, it's a sock. He's like, will it be finished by the time we land? And I was like...
you know what I was thinking today? I was flying and there was this teenage boy sitting next to me, and he struggled. He's tried to sleep and he was uncomfortable, and he was trying to watch something, but he didn't like it. And like you could see he didn't know what to do with himself for 2.5 hours. And I was as happy as could be because I was knitting my sweater and I got to the ribbing, so it was like easy, no thinking, like flying through. So the 2.5 hours went by real fast, you know.
But that's it. People have been like there have been the odd person that has said, "Oh, are you crocheting or are you knitting?" I'm like, "Yeah." And like, "Oh, I would never have thought to do that." I'm like, I literally just standing here for 2 hours. 2 hours was the long. About 2 hours 20 we queued.
Yeah.
For the Donkey Kong ride at Epic Universe, which was amazing, but it was over 2 hours because the ride broke twice while we were in the queue. Or the ride ceased operations for technical.
And that still makes you want to go on that.
Yeah, exactly. I know, that's it. Yeah, because it's like the ride broke and I'm still going on it. But no, like I get, you know, they're machines with computers, and you know, you've got to just believe that the computer protects you. But I've done, but yeah, and for me, it just feels like a waste of time. If I'm sitting there, just like I did my sponsor, we did our walk at work. We raised money for Crisis, who are a homeless charity. They're aligned to our corporate charity partner for the year, and we were all encouraged to get out, fresh air with your colleagues. And so I did a 20-mile walk. I knit the cuff and a half of a sock because I just felt like, yeah, I'm going, but if I'm going, I'm bringing my knitting, because walking for 7 hours seems like a waste of knitting time.
Right.
So that's why I took with me.
I've heard you have really big plans, like a full size plans.
I feel like I teased this on my channel a couple of weeks ago.
Is that still a secret?
No, it's not. No, I've not really talked about it that much. But by the time I get back, I'll be talking about it a bit more in August. Actually, this is a really good opportunity then. So I've not got a lot of design ideas, but I've got a few ideas in my head. So I'm, as a knitter who crochets, that's how I still describe myself. I want to explore more about knitting and crochet together.
And it's very hot right now. Like everybody's trying. Like I saw a lot of things at H&H.
Oh really?
Where like people combine some like knitted body with like granny square sleeves and things like that.
And I've got this idea for the hat, which I won't say about. I'm not going to tell about until I work out if it actually is possible. I've talked to a few people and they're like, oh my, yeah, that would work.
Right.
So I'm going to start, I think, as we move throughout, get past the summer, actually being on holiday and stopping has actually been quite creative.
Yeah.
Which we talked a little bit about burnout over lunch, about it's a lot having to continually create content.
Yeah.
And it's a privilege to like to be able to do that, and that's what we do. That's our hobby, our job, that's what we do. But sometimes you need to just stop to recharge, then go, okay,
and
I'm
then
ready.
you miss it again, and you come up with different angles and different ideas.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got an idea for the cowl. We wanted to make this cowl forever. So that's I think is going to be my first pattern. It's going to be just a crochet cowl, super squishy, super chunky, not chunky, but like a proper hug. So I want to make I've got that design in mind. I've got then my knit crochet hat, which if I can pull it off, I think it will look graphic and amazing. And then I've got another hat that I've thought about. We were at the Kennedy Space Center, which was the project that Irina was referencing. I think I've just started to see inspiration around me of that would make an amazing intarsia blanket. And then I was chatting to Nick from Cool Willings then, because she's a massive space nerd. So I was sending pictures from the Space Center and I went, oh, look at this, it would make the most amazing blanket. And she's like, oh my God. And then actually as I was driving home, I got home, I was like, but what if that was a scarf as well? And so I just started to think about
collections.
That. Yeah, already I'm like, I could start with the scarf, then a blanket could so, and it's something that I'd like to explore more because, and I've talked about a lot on my channel, about I work a full-time job, I work a corporate job, I've got a great job, I love it, but would I love to create and just knit and design instead of my corporate job? Absolutely, that would be amazing. So there's something about exploring what that journey looks like around how could I drop my hours so that I could only work 4 days a week at my corporate job and I could have 1 day a week.
Right.
Knit365.
No, and I think like once you try your first design, it sort of frees you to like think like what else can I create, and it's and then you'll find like where there is a will, there is a way.
Yeah.
You'll find.
What was your
find
first
it.
pattern?
So the first one was Sweet Surrender. Because I didn't want to be a designer. I told everyone that I didn't want to be a designer, and then
that's the big wrap, isn't it?
It's a big wrap. So Jorge Locatelli was the one who modeled it for me. Bridget from Cowgirl Blues brought me 2 different skeins of yarn in the same color, and I was thinking like what I'm gonna do is it was 2 different ways. It was lace and mohair. And I was sitting one day and I thought, oh, I'm gonna see her in a couple of months. I'm gonna knit her a shawl.
Yeah.
And so I just sat down and I knitted her a shawl and I brought it to her and I said, here, look what I made with your yarn. And she said, no, you cannot do that. You have to write a pattern because now everyone will ask me, what's the pattern? And I was like, nobody's gonna ask. And then the next day I'm coming to her booth and like in front of me people come and they're like, oh my God, what's this pattern? And she's like,
see, she did
so
say.
That's why I called it Sweet Surrender.
Yeah.
Because I surrendered to the world of design. But like the one that I'm about to publish now, so there's 2 upcoming patterns on my table. One is going to be published online at the sweater. But
we just need to stop at like that. You're getting a sweater published in liner. Like that's an amazing achievement for a reluctant designer. that must be a really nice moment.
It feels surreal, especially like I just got to see the pictures of the real model wearing it. It's like incredible. And it was also one of those patterns when I was like knitting it for myself, and I was thinking I'm just gonna do a V-neck, but then I got bored with the short rows, and I was like, what if I just like make it a little different angle at the end, and it turned out to be like this necklace neckline, and apparently nobody had ever seen it before. And that was that's the thing that got the publisher of Liner to pick that sweater, because she liked that neckline.
Wow.
So sometimes you don't know what's gonna, you know, sometimes the lazy way out is actually what creates something new and exciting. So that is coming out in August, and I think it's open for pre-orders already as this episode goes out. And in September, I'm gonna publish the Advent shawl. So that shawl is actually probably like one of the designs I'm proud the most of. So I was interviewing recently Cecilia Campacciaro, and Cecilia is a brilliant designer, and she has this mathematical mind, and she wrote 3 books. One was the sequence knitting, marled knitting, and just recently she published a book called Reversible Knitting Knit Dictionary. So in that book there is basically like, it's like a stitch dictionary for reversible knitting. So I was looking through that and I was like, oh my god, that would make the most beautiful scarf, like to do all these different patterns. And then Andrea from Woolen Women Fibers, like one of those yarns that I gave you, she was asking me, do you have any ideas of what to do with the Advent? I'm looking for a pattern for Advent. And I was like, I exactly have the idea. So the Advent box has 12 20-gram skeins, mini skeins, but it also has 1 full skein. So then I was thinking, okay, I'll make this scarf from the mini skeins, but what I'm gonna do is the full skein. And I thought it has to have beautiful border, but it has to continue staying reversible. And what comes to mind when you think of reversible knitting? Shetland lace, of course.
Irina's favorite.
So I chose the easiest, I promise you, easiest Shetland lace. It's only 12 rows by 12 stitches, so it's easy to memorize. But then, just in case, if between the chart and written instructions, if you still get confused, I filmed complete tutorial on how to do the corner, on how to knit it, how to read the chart. So that should be like, there's going to be a bunch of tutorials in the pattern. And the pattern starts with the provisional cast on using barber cord. And I filmed that. So like, I'm gonna be holding your hand throughout the whole pattern with numerous videos. So it should be fun. It's definitely gonna take some time to knit the whole thing. It's a very generously sized, it's 2m10 by 60 centimeters wrap, so it's really generous size.
But there could be some speedy people that keep up all the way through December.
I made it in 8 days, so it's doable.
It's definitely doable then.
Yeah.
But I love that though with Advent. So I love getting some Advents, but I like trying to have an idea in mind, because I think sometimes the danger with Advent is you see the concept and it looks.
Yeah, you love it, but you don't know what to
you don't know what to make with it.
Yeah.
So sometimes then when you get an Advent that comes, so like last year when I did the Hibernate along, my first year doing the Hibernate along, but I knew that I had a weekly Advent from Gemma because I really love the summer kind of paradise tropical idea. I was like, right, well, I don't know what the yarn's going to be until I open it, and it's 1 skein. I did the weekly, which was 1 skein every Sunday. Right, well, that will be my Hibernate along. And it was almost what will be, will be. And I remember saying to Jem when I was going to do that, she's like, but how do you know the yarn's going to work with the patterns? I don't. That'll be.
Well, the thing is, like, a lot of times, like, I find that the pattern that they include in the Advent doesn't use even quarter of the yarn. So my goal for this specific Advent design was to use as much yarn as possible. So there's very little leftovers. There's like enough for different tensions and stuff, but there's most of the yarn is being used in the Advent. So like, you know, that's another little bonus of it. Because I've bought Advents and there is a sock pattern, you know, and I'm like, okay, but what do I do with the rest
I've got the equivalent of 200 grams of yarn, and I've got 1 sock pattern that I use about 80 grams, I think, for my socks.
Right. So yeah, so like the beauty of this one that you can use the entire advent for just this one shawl, and it's definitely an heirloom piece. You're gonna be proud that you made it.
Yeah.
But it's easy. Like the body is really easy to knit, and the edging will keep you on your toes, but you can do it.
I noticed I shouldn't say that the edging is easy. So I know like with tutorial video, I think once you watch the video, you've got that, and if it is only 12 stitches.
The only stitches I used in the edging is knit two together, slip, slip, knit, yarn over, knit, and there's like 3 purl stitches throughout the whole thing. So it's really.
So people will know the stitches. It's just keeping track
right,
of where you are.
Right, it's just keeping track, and basically like by the time you're done with one side, you memorize the pattern.
Yeah.
And then it's.
And did you draw that out? How did you have the idea in your mind about how you got the border then? Did you start drawing it, or did you just pick the needles up and start playing?
I just started knitting it right away, and it was going like picking colors, and that's what I love about this particular pattern. It doesn't matter in what way you go. So you are the master of your design. You can pick any colors you want, and if you don't want to buy an advent, I'm sure you have plenty of leftover yarn in your stash somewhere from previous projects. So you can just pick any color and figure it out as you go. Like you don't need to have a plan for all 12 colors. You don't have to know what's gonna happen next. You can just like discover what's happening next.
And what I think would be great as well actually is, if you think, we talked a bit earlier about the mystery knit along, that some people do, they'll play with the colours, and the darkest colour is meant to be D, but actually someone makes it the B or whatever.
And that's the beauty of
You might find that with Advent as well though, that if people are they might wait to open the Advent, see the colours, and they'll use the same colours as you, but they've done it in a completely different order. Or you've used the 100 grams for around the border, but they might use the 100 grams for the minis and put the minis on the border.
And you can do mini.
It will all be completely different.
Yeah, definitely. Or you can even choose different skein of yarn from your stash to use as a edging for the border for the shawl. So let me know if you like that pattern. I'm hoping people are gonna like that pattern, because like I'm most proud of that.
So you said the pattern is available
It's
separately?
not available.
It's only available through the Advent?
No, it's gonna be available on September 20th separately as a pattern. So it's right in time for everybody's Advent starting to arrive in November, December, whatever. You're gonna have the.
I can't believe we're talking about Advent already. Like at the beginning of the year, Mark and I were like, right, everything is now downhill to Florida because we had 6 months to go.
Well, wait, we have to talk about one important thing.
Oh.
Mark's sweater.
Oh. We talked about this briefly before we pressed record, and I knew you were going to bring that up on camera. Look, and also now he started playing golf.
It'll be done.
It'll be done. It'll get done. Funny enough, we talked about it a lot on this holiday. So we're staying on a golf resort in Florida, and Mark's been to play golf with my brother. And my brother's, we call him, he's not our father, he's not my father-in-law. I'm on holiday with my brother and my sister-in-law and her parents. So Pappy's here, and the 3 of them went to play golf, and they'd been to play golf then before we came out, and he's like, do you know what I really need to play golf in now? It's like, what's that? He's like, I really need my jumper. I'm like, you do really need your jumper, but we were just saying before camera, so by the time I'm back now, in reality, I'm back in work, it's the 31st of July when I get back to work. Then we've got August, and then I'm not going to talk about it yet, but I've got a thing that I'm planning for September, a bit of a fundraiser, and hopefully something fun.
And it's a big thing.
It's a big thing. More on that will follow, which will take up most of my September. And then October is Mystery Knit Along. Then November will be quick catch a breath, and then December's Vlogmas. So, bless him.
It'll get done.
What Irina did say, which in fairness was a great idea, but you could have told me 3 weeks ago. I could have bought it with me, and Irina could have finished it.
Yeah.
No, I
by tomorrow.
I'm not by tomorrow. It takes me about. You wouldn't like to do it.
No, this is a complicated.
Yeah, but you wouldn't like to do it anyway either, because it's on old style knitting needles.
Yeah.
You've got to knit it flat, and it's on old wooden needles. Because I didn't know about interchangeables at that point when I started.
Actually, I would love to get the go at that.
Oh my god. No, in all seriousness, I'm over halfway. Like, and this is the danger of Mark now being a knitting widow, because he knows all the time I spend doing my knitting. it does all sink in, and he knows how complicated some things are.
Right.
And he's like, but you're here, once you split, it gets smaller every time because you're decreasing. And then you've just got to do a rib around the arm. And I'm like, I know. Maybe it's an August thing. Like I've got a month off band actually in August, so I could, with a bit of concerted effort, because I'm just below the point that I think I've got to do one more repeat, and then I split for the V. But the back's done. Like I've done the hard job is knitting it up the back. The only, and again, I'm not. It's an excuse, but I've also got to regrade the pattern as I'm going because the pattern's for the small, and we're doing an extra small. So I've just got to think about. I had to think about it when I did the shaping at the back. I've just got to make sure I don't mess up the decrease. So I've got to just think about. I've got less stitches, which is not a lot of maths. And if I need to undo
you can
it,
also probably do less ribbing.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be slightly. I still think it's slightly too big, but when I sew it together, instead of sewing the very edge stitches, I can like sew 2 stitches in and have a bit of. So I think I've thought about this jumper for so long. Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So yeah, maybe that. Like in fairness, I could probably get it done before the mission. I've got enough. As it stands today, as we film this on the whatever it is, 26th, I've technically got enough time to finish it before October.
Isn't it funny how we are stressed by knitting?
I know what the hobby that's meant to relax us. Funnily enough, I talked to someone. Where was I? On this holiday, on this trip, I was knitting somewhere. Oh, at breakfast in the hotel. So midweek we stayed at the Hard Rock Hotel. So we had a little holiday in the holiday. Because if you stay at one of the Universal resorts, they give you unlimited fast passes.
Oh, that's so cool.
And early access.
Yeah, you need it there.
So we did Universal in 2 days. Velocicoaster, slight tangent. Velocicoaster is possibly the most intense roller coaster.
Yeah, I'm not big on roller. It's like it just terrifies me.
Like we went on it and I got off. My brother was green and his legs were shaking.
What gave Mark his hair?
Yeah, the one hairdo that I put on Instagram with really big hair was Iron Gwazi in Busch Gardens. Like it's a near vertical drop. It was intense. But in the Hard Rock Hotel over breakfast, one of the servers came over, and then we were just chatting, and she said that she started to teach herself, found it really difficult, and was really stressed about it. And I said, and I know, and ironically, you've got to push through that first month when you're really stressed to go, this is meant to be, I'm going to knit because it's going to relax me. But as beginners, it doesn't really relax you. Because
and now it doesn't.
And now it doesn't really relax. No, because, but I feel it's the dopamine. You've got to keep doing more. We talked about this with roller coasters because I did my little top 3, which was Stardust Racers, Velocicoaster, and Iron Gwazi. Then the day before yesterday, we went back to Magic Kingdom and rode Tron, which was one of the first coasters we rode when we arrived. And we got off. We were like, oh my god, that was amazing. We rode it 2 days ago. We got off and we were like. Oh. But I think because we'd done so extreme with the top 3, it didn't scratch the itch. And I wonder if that's actually the same with knitting. It's like you've got to, certainly for me, I want to keep challenging myself. I think I would get bored.
My theory on that is because like we learn to knit as adults. So like every time I feel like I wasted so many years not knitting that I have to catch up. You know? Like I talk to a lot of people, majority of people who I interview on my channel, they're like, learn to knit before I could walk, and like, by the age of 5, I knitted my first Fair Isle jumper. Just like, so like I feel like there's so many brilliant designs out there, and my brain is constantly on fire, and I don't have enough arms and enough hours in a day to knit everything I want to knit and learn everything I want to learn.
Exactly, and I think that's it. And there's definitely not enough hours for me to do all the things that I want to do.
Right.
And then I think I would just get bored. That's the thing, even like with crochet, I really struggle to crochet flat because I always lose the end stitch and it kind of does this. Whereas the Toft amigurumi type things, I go round and round the circle, I can't really lose a stitch. But there's always something to challenge me. Like that pangolin that I've made, I hated every minute of the shield, the armour on the back, and I remember I messaged Kerry going, what? what on earth? I just couldn't get my head around. And then all of a sudden, I got about a third in, and it just clicked, and I was like, because I did it when we went to, I started it, we were on our way to the Kennedy Space Centre, and we're sitting on the bus because we did one of the tours, and Mark's like, put your phone away. I'm like, I can't, I need to work out this. And so I'm sitting on the bus watching Kerry's tutorial on how to make the armour, because I just couldn't switch my brain. I needed to work out where to put this stitch.
Yeah.
But there's always something to keep challenging them, I think. And that's where that lady was then saying to me, I just couldn't, it was too difficult.
Yeah,
I just found it so
getting
stressful.
Yeah.
It's like, you just pick it back up, but accept that it's going to be really difficult for the first month. And then all of a sudden, you'll go,
Well,
okay.
that's how it happened for me and brioche. Like the first time I tried knitting brioche scarf, I had to like undo it 18 times until I got it. Because I didn't know how to fix mistakes, and I didn't know where I am in that knitting. So it's like every time I would, you know, it would grow, and then I would be lost, and like I would start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So.
Whereas we said before, my first brioche, I didn't know how to fix it. I was worried I would make the same mistake again, or even worse, so I just left it. And I've got this weird, funky hole that sits there now. And now it's that journey, because I can look back and go, oh, look how my brioche has improved. But yeah, you look at it and I'm like, I don't know how to fix it. It's like we said about lace earlier. I've done a little bit of lace knitting. I've not done a huge amount of it.
Well, you know what? You know how I always say how you influence me, and now I'm like not the one project knitter necessarily, and I have like 3 more waiting for me at home actually on my needles that I didn't finish.
Multiple whips is the way to go.
It drives me insane, but like I blame it on you that it's like you are my influence. So I'm hoping that my influence on you is gonna rub off and you're gonna get into lace one day also.
I need to pick, maybe I need to do like the Sweet Surrender.
Yeah, Sweet Surrender is like perfect. Like Steven Weber did it.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
oh
he
yes,
enjoyed
I remember
it. Yeah.
Steven's colours.
Yeah, he did the sunny sort of like gold and white and like beige and gold. Yeah.
But see now, if I do that, I won't be able. That'll be another project, and I won't be able to finish.
Well,
March
that
jumper.
waits until January, so finish March.
I thought you were going to tell
first.
me to start it now and then just leave March jumper. No, in all seriousness, maybe I do need to get that jumper up when I get back, because I've done quite a lot of knitting. I'm almost back up straight. I'm going to do mystery sock long.
Right.
Got to do that. Starts on Tuesday. That's probably the only thing I need to do.
Well, you know what? And before we know it, it's gonna be the Mr. Knit Along. So we're
Yes.
almost there.
I can't wait. Yes, I can't believe how.
Do you think it's gonna feel different now that we've met in person?
Maybe. It's a shame it's not in Mystery Knit Along season, because we could have been sitting here actually knitting on
Right.
Mystery Knit Along
Can you
shorts.
imagine?
But no, it's really nice that like this is, and I talk about this quite a lot with people. Like this is the good side of social media, right? It's like we're sitting in a hotel room.
But it like doesn't.
But it doesn't feel
we've
like-
been friends for 4 years.
Yeah,
anyways.
it doesn't
Like,
feel like.
There was not an awkward second.
No, I walked into the lobby and Irina's there. We hugged, we sat down, we've had dinner, we've had a beer. We're gonna go out for food later. It just doesn't feel awkward, and it does feel like I've just known you forever. And that's, I think, is the good side of social media, where you make some connections. I mentioned it briefly over lunch. I had a really interesting experience when I told people I was coming to Florida, and I had some people going, political, how dare you come to America, what are you doing? I actually had one person contact me, completely unsolicited, who said, I hope you don't get detained at the border. And I was like, okay, A, why would I get detained at the border? Like, just
Right.
why? But B, why would you think that's an acceptable message to just send someone completely out of the blue? So it's been quite, and that's the one bit of social media. Like I did my roller coaster reel, and someone commented, I live in Florida, I wish you hadn't come, you can't keep supporting the tourist industry. I'm like, I get it. But also, we booked the holiday 2 years ago. So before the current, like whatever you think about politics, it's something that we booked 2 years ago. I'm also not going to explain to a 7-year-old who is super excited about meeting Mickey Mouse why she can't meet Mickey Mouse, because the political situation around, and you name me a country that doesn't have a political, like the amount going on in the UK, let alone about, like, it's just a thing. And I know there's politics everywhere, and I make, I think, good, I try to make choices that affect me and my family and my friends, and make sure we protect everyone. But equally,
You have to live your life.
Yeah, you've got to live your life. And there's the side of social media that people feel like they can just come into your space and go, no, you can't do that. Like, okay, well, I don't know you from Adam. Don't come and tell me what I can't. Kitey's got, and I put it on my stories then, Kitey's got, he did a reel that it's like, I'll link it below for people to see, and it's like, this is not the customer service, this is not, I didn't ask you to come into my space that you don't pay for to leave me your comment. And I think that's the bad side of social media,
right?
Where you're always on, and everyone feels like they've got an opinion to say something.
It exists, but there's so much upside to social media, and you guys make it all worth it for us to come back to YouTube.
Absolutely.
Like I just met Nicole, one of the viewers. She's from Montreal, so I met her at Knit365 Montreal. She introduced me to a group that I just interviewed that make quilts for, they make blankets, knitted and crocheted blankets to provide support to battered women, against violence against women. So it's it's all connects together, it's you're getting such wonderful, I'm getting so many suggestions from my viewers, they're like, oh, we wish you could interview this person.
Yeah.
And boom, it happens, so it's,
and it is great.
all,
it's the connections, and I love that. And the fact that 4 years ago when I sat on your channel for the first time, and I rushed home from work and I was worried I was going to be late, and we had our chat, to then it turned into that friendship then that we both have the love of the Mystery Knit Along and Stephen White, and that's then developed, and now we're sitting in a hotel room in Florida, and you've flown in especially to come and see me because I'm in the States and I'm not in the States. I love it.
Yeah, every 20 years.
Every 20 years. Yeah, 20 years since I've been, 17 years I think it was for me.
Next time you have to come, I'll take you to Rhinebeck, so we'll go
don't,
together.
Yeah. That, I don't think I can do it this year. I think it's too short notice to plan it, but it feels like
next year is around the corner.
Next year
and Mark can wear his jumper as his Rhinebeck sweater.
Everyone can make that as their Rhinebeck sweater. Yeah, I think I would love to do Rhinebeck. I feel like that needs to be, but it needs to be planned. Because now it's July now, nearly August. I think it's too late. And also I've taken 18 days off work. I think if I go back and tell my boss I'm having more.
Next year sounds good. Well, unless next year you want to come with me to Uzbekistan.
Oh yes, I forgot you were doing that. Why didn't you tell folks a little bit?
Next year I'm collaborating with Rowan Tree Travels. So they are the organizers and they work with the local travel agency in Uzbekistan for all the logistical things, but I'm gonna be the host of that traveling thing. I'm creating a pattern with Uzbeki motifs with the cotton and vines, and it's gonna be interesting. Specifically to do a knit along on that trip, but the beauty of Uzbekistan is, first of all, it was where I was born. Nobody knows that little tidbit. I was born there, my grandparents lived there, so I spent all my summers there. And it's on the Silk Road, so there is all the spices from India and the Middle Eastern cuisine. And it's probably one of the safest countries to be right now as far as Middle East goes. So there is mosques from 13th century. There's beautiful architecture, amazing cuisine. So we're gonna go for 2 weeks. We're gonna travel through most of Uzbekistan. We're gonna be in Bukhara, Samarkand, Tashkent, Shiva. I'm super excited. And
I've seen the itinerary and it's
amazing. And there's gonna be a lot of workshops. So we're gonna have food-related workshops where we make local dishes like manti and pilaf, and then there's gonna be crafty workshops. So we're gonna do silk embroidery, and we're gonna I think there was some plate painting and things like that. So there's 4 or 5 different workshops and lots of travel and really fun company. You can come with Mark. We can meet the sweater.
We can come with Mark. And Rhinebeck and everything else. Honestly, this is the longest I've been off work, and I genuinely it's because I've had, so by the time I go back to work now next Thursday, and I've had 18 days off work, and it's the longest. But you don't realize
But
that
you
you need
needed
it.
that
Yeah, you
vacation,
don't really
yeah.
because when you take time off, I might take 5 days, and I've had a week. And last year I did take 2 weeks. I don't know what we did last week when I had 2 weeks off, but having 3 weeks has been like, it feels like I've been here forever.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it makes it huge. And I'm actually like, that's part of my Uzbekistan trip I'm most excited for, because I usually travel, like I go to a festival and I'm in and out.
yeah.
So like I went to Barcelona, I went to Switzerland, it's like 5 days.
I want to do Barcelona.
5 days, I'm like in and out, right? And here I'm gonna go for 2 weeks, so I'm really excited to just like immerse myself in that trip, you know,
Yeah.
for like a prolonged period.
How many
of
people will
time.
be on the trip?
I think they're limited to 15 or 17. So right now
Okay, so
there's
nice.
7 people signed up. So if you guys want to come, I know it's a year out, but like snap.
But it's a manageable number. It's not like it's not
no,
too
it's
big
not
a group.
huge group.
Yeah,
It's like a small group, and it's gonna be very cozy and intimate. Yeah.
that's really cool. Anything else planned on your channel then for the rest of the year? Lots more interviews.
Lots more interviews. Probably lots more travels. I'm going to Flock next week.
Yeah.
I'm coming back from Miami, and then I'm going to Seattle to my first Flock. I've never been there. I never been
Okay.
to Seattle. I've never been to Flock, and I've heard a lot of good things there.
Yeah, there's a few vendors from the UK coming over.
Yeah, and then there is a Boston Fibre Festival in Boston. The first week of September, so I'll go there. So there's like a lot of, and then Rhinebeck, of course, and then Sardinia. So lots of travel in my future.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Lots of MCAL as well then. Mission it long. You need to do Vlogmas.
Oof.
What do you get up to? Yeah, you blog your December.
Well, the thing is, I never, like, my channel is not about me.
It's not
and my
blogging.
knitting.
Yeah, it's other people.
So like, it's always spotlight somebody else, and I don't know if I wanna. I'm shy.
We turn the camera on you, we film you and interview
You know, like every time, like I don't know how you do it, and I tell it to all the people who like have their channels about their knitting, because if I put the camera like this and I try to talk to it, I'm a mess. I can't do that. It's really difficult for me.
The amount of times I sit down and I record, usually my monthly roundups, and it can often take me 6 or 7 times to get going.
Yeah.
And I'll end up like, I record the first 45 seconds and I'll make a mistake, or the first 60 seconds, or the first, even I think probably even up to like 3 or 4 minutes sometimes I've done it. And I'm like, this is rubbish. This is a really long, rambly introduction. You're not really, as soon as I get past like 5 minutes,
It's easy.
it's done. And then, because it just feels a bit more, and you're then just chatting. But yeah, be under no illusion. The amount of bloopers I get in the first couple of minutes, and I've got to stop, and there's like 18 takes on something. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's much easier for me to have somebody else on that screen to talk to.
Yeah.
It's very rare when I'm getting a brain freeze. I mean, there happens things when I'm like, what did I want to ask you next? Thank God for editing, so you guys don't see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting easier. Like I remember the first interview, the first probably 5 interviews I did. I had to meditate. Like I had complete panic attack. It
No
was like I
way.
was shaking after it. And now it's like it's much easier. Like after 330 something interviews, it's getting easier.
But I think I like we were just chatting over lunch. The connections that it's brought you.
Yeah.
And you might have interviewed that person, but they know someone else that knows someone else that you interview, and you kind of develop that network of people.
Yes, it's definitely like people who come to my channel and who enjoy being on my channel. They would reach out to me later and they would be like, "Have you interviewed this person?" Like, and it's more and more when people will contact me and say like, "Would you invite me to your channel? Like, I think I have an interesting story." So that started to happen more and more in the past years. So it's definitely changing. It's developing. And there is probably not too many countries left where I don't know somebody.
Yeah.
You know, who I could meet for drinks or lunch or something. And have a time with.
You'll need to make a list of countries that you then have gaps in. We'll have to find people.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I was actually thinking of like having a map and marking like all the people that I interviewed on that map, and to see like where else I'm
That would be
missing
great.
people, yeah.
Because I watched that on Kitey's episode of yours when he was saying when he started dyeing yarn that he had a map of the world, and
Right,
every
and
time he
who
made a
was
sale,
sending to.
he would tick off the country because he couldn't believe that he was,
Yeah.
I've just had my first sale to Canada, or I've just had my first sale to somewhere in Europe.
Right.
It's a really nice visual way of going, actually,
Yeah.
even if there's 500 people watch it, imagine, I taught a YouTube class in the summer, a few months ago, and someone said something about, oh, but I've got a channel, but it only got 50 views. I'm like, okay, and that's great, but again, the social media thing, we're conditioned to think all about the numbers.
Right.
But imagine you're walking down the street and 50 people are following you.
Right. Oh,
You'd be
for
ringing
sure.
the police.
Yeah.
You'd be going, there's a crowd of people following. Like 50 people is quite a lot of people.
It's done, yeah.
And I think when you think about it like that again, you can always chase the numbers and you want to go viral and you want a video. Like one of my reels, I think it was a spinning reel on YouTube, has been watched like 80,000 times.
Well, my most viral reel on Instagram has like 500,000 views, and it's about me complaining about cords of Likey needles. So go figure, you know. Sometimes you don't know what's gonna go viral and for what reason.
Yeah, and I think if you could work it out, like you know the things that you should try to put that makes a good video, but you're right, you can't.
Right.
You can't do
You know,
it.
honestly, like I don't really care about going viral or how many views I get. For me, it's all like driven by my curiosity and my desire to get to know people. And lots of times somebody would like put me in the comments that like, oh, you should interview this person, and I never even heard of them, and they can be super famous designers or something. And that's how I discovered the world of fiber art. So for myself, like, so Roxanne Richardson was like the most wildly suggested YouTuber for me to interview.
Yeah.
And I just recently, like, people were telling me about her for like 4 years, and I just recently interviewed her, and we had a blast. So if you guys can think of somebody I need to interview, put it in the comments.
Put them in the comments. Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. Like my blog was, my YouTube started because it was a visual blog. Right. And I want to do more project blogs. And I know that's something that I've not done as much of, that I know that they do well on my channel. But it's about it's about what I'm knitting.
It's your diary.
Yeah, it's my diary. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's my diary of the things that I do. And I try and keep it fresh and change it up ever so slightly and make sure that it stays, it's not just the samey thing of, I've made another toft animal, or I've made another hat, and you try and find different ways of doing it, but ultimately it's about me and what I'm enjoying knitting, and if people want to watch it, great. If they don't, and if people watch the videos, I'll make the videos.
Right. Well, if it makes you feel any better, not only I'm a friend, not only I'm a fan, but like I actually watch all your videos, so as soon as they come out, I'm getting the little bell, and I'm like, let me see what Martin is up to.
And that's it, and that again, it's that connection that we've made, and we both, like, I think the fact that we're now sitting in a room together is just insane. It's still like, I watch from the lobby and I'm like, there she is.
And it's so funny how like everybody on Instagram guessed that.
Oh, I know. And I thought, I ummed and ahed putting that picture in, and I thought, oh, but people, they may not know that picture, because it's the one of us, we did it with the Stephen and Linda one. But yeah, literally everyone in there. Because I was filming it yesterday. Oh, my niece did the filming. And my brother came in. He went, "You know they've all guessed who it is, don't you?" It's like, yeah. And I said, and I kind of thought they would. It wasn't about teasing. It was more just a bit. It was a bit of content.
An announcement.
Yeah, it was an announcement that I was going to meet up with Irina without saying I was meeting up with Irina. But yeah, I love the fact that everyone knew that we were going to be here. And what I might do is I'm going to stick on. We'll do a little thing on Instagram now about what do you want to know while we're together, and then when we go shopping tomorrow, we go Disney Springs.
Yeah, we'll take some
we'll take pictures. We'll answer questions tomorrow.
That sounds good.
Yeah, but no, thank you so much for flying in to see me.
Oh,
it's
my pleasure. Absolutely.
It's just it's the perfect end to a great holiday.
Yeah, we're leaving on the same day. I'm going to Miami and you're going back to England.
Yes, we're gonna have the jet lag. I'm off Wednesday, Mark's back in work Wednesday, so we take off 6 p.m. Florida Monday, we land 7 a.m. Tuesday morning, so then that'll really be 3 a.m.
Right.
Our bodies will think we're on 3 a.m. So we've got to push through Tuesday, then he's back in work Wednesday, so at least I've got Wednesday to kind of sleep
Yeah, it's gonna
a
take
little
you time.
bit. Yeah.
They say it takes you twice as long as many hours difference there is, so
Oh.
it
Oh,
might
that's
take
not-
care of it.
That's
As
less than
many
a day.
days as
Oh, as many
hours.
days. Oh god. And I've got banned this week because I've got a competition on Saturday, which I've tried. I'm like, I haven't played for 3.5. They're like, you'll be fine. So I'm straight back.
It's like riding a bike.
Oh, don't, honestly, but I haven't played for that. So I land Tuesday morning. I got band rehearsal Tuesday night, which I really do need to go to because I have said to them like jet lag permitting that Tuesday, but I got banned Thursday, Friday. Saturday morning we leave for an 8-hour bus ride, so good knitting time, but 5 a.m. is the bus.
Ah.
Then I've got a competition Saturday and back home Saturday night. Then I've got a month off band. Mark's jumper month.
You guys have to hold him accountable. Remind him in the comments.
You can tell him when you see him shortly, and then there's no backing out of it.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
You're almost done.
I'm almost done.
It'll get done.
It'll get done. I've got it on a t-shirt. But no, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to sit here and chat to you. And
Thank you.
we'll put all the details below for Irina's channel. If you have never seen her before or any of Irina's content, go and check out Irina's content. We'll put the details of the lovely makers that Irina shared and patterns. There'll be loads of details in the description box. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Bye from Florida.
Happy crafting!